Hello, my dear friends. Today is the 22nd of April, and we are starting our lesson. Well, please look at these pictures and try to guess. What is the theme of our lesson today? What are we going to talk about? You are quite right. This lesson is going to be about sports, different types of sport. Now let's match the words to the pictures. There are new words such as hockey, squash, javelin throwing, cricket, water polo, snowboarding, gymnastics, basketball, scuba diving, football. Well, the first is football, the second is scuba diving, the third is snowboarding, the fourth is squash, the fifth is basketball, the sixth water polo, the seventh cricket, the eighth gymnastics, the ninth hockey, and the last is javelin throwing. Squash – это что-то то же самое, что и теннис, только игроки работают со стеной, мяч отбивается от нее, работают как по одному игроку, так и в паре. Ну и javelin throwing, я надеюсь, вы узнали по изображению метания копья. Well, my friends, continue, and now let's list the sports under the categories water, individual, team. You can use one sport in different categories. Well, what are the sports? Windsurfing, karate, cricket, rugby, badminton, long jump, tennis, water polo, javelin throwing, volleyball, scuba diving, hockey, gymnastics, basketball, snowboarding, jogging, climbing, cycling, football, golf, swimming. Please compare your answers with mine. Water sports, windsurfing, water polo, scuba diving, swimming. Individual types of sport, windsurfing, badminton, long jump, tennis, golf, javelin throwing, scuba diving, gymnastics, snowboarding, jogging, climbing, cycling, swimming, and karate. Team sports are volleyball, hockey, basketball, football, water polo, cricket, rugby. And now let's remember, when should we use go, play or do with sports? Итак, вспоминаем, в каких случаях, с какими видами спорта мы используем глагол go, с какими play, а с какими do. Глагол play, само собой, используется в сочетании с игровыми видами спорта. For example, play football, play tennis. Глагол do используется с видами спорта, которыми мы занимаемся, где нужно прикладывать определенную физическую специализированную нагрузку, such as do gymnastics, do karate. Обычно это атлетические виды спорта и единоборство. Go – этот глагол используется с видами спорта, в которых есть понятие направления, и спортсмены двигаются как бы по дорожке. Go scuba diving, go windsurfing, go jogging, etc. и так далее. So, my dears, let's use this information to complete the tables with the words in the box. Windsurfing, squash, cricket, badminton, water polo, tennis, volleyball, javelin throwing, scuba diving, hockey, gymnastics, karate, basketball, golf, cycling. Think a little. It's time to check yourselves. Play squash, play cricket, play badminton, play tennis, play volleyball, play hockey, play basketball, play golf, play water polo. Go windsurfing, go javelin throwing, go scuba diving, go cycling. Do gymnastics, do karate. And now please listen to three people talking about their favorite sport. Say which sport is each describing. There are Bill, Amanda, and Steve who are describing their favorite sport. Use this information and choose the correct answer.
Bill, I am on both my school team and a local team, so I have training most evenings and play in matches at the weekends. Actually, last season, I was the top scorer on my school team. My sport means everything to me. Even when I'm not playing, I'm kicking a ball around in the garden.
Amanda, my dad and I have been in my village team for about 3 years now. I've been getting a lot better lately, apparently. I've caught a few really difficult balls recently, and I scored the most runs I had ever scored in last week's match. A lot of people say it's quite boring to watch a whole match because it can be quite a slow game. But my family enjoy coming down to the green and watching me play on Sunday afternoons, especially when it's my turn to bat.
Steve, I have always lived by the sea, so I love all kinds of water sports. But this is definitely my favourite. It was quite difficult to learn at first because you have to pull up the sail, which is quite heavy, and keep your balance at the same time. Now I'm actually quite good and have even won a few competitions recently. I can't describe to you how amazing it is to feel the power of the wind pushing you through the waves.
I suggest you to listen to this again and check yourself.
Bill, I am on both my school team and a local team, so I have training most evenings and play in matches at the weekends. Actually, last season, I was the top scorer on my school team. My sport means everything to me. Even when I'm not playing, I'm kicking a ball around in the garden.
Amanda, my dad and I have been in my village team for about 3 years now. I've been getting a lot better lately, apparently. I've caught a few really difficult balls recently, and I scored the most runs I had ever scored in last week's match. A lot of people say it's quite boring to watch a whole match because it can be quite a slow game. But my family enjoy coming down to the green and watching me play on Sunday afternoons, especially when it's my turn to bat.
Steve, I have always lived by the sea, so I love all kinds of water sports. But this is definitely my favourite. It was quite difficult to learn at first because you have to pull up the sail, which is quite heavy, and keep your balance at the same time. Now I'm actually quite good and have even won a few competitions recently. I can't describe to you how amazing it is to feel the power of the wind pushing you through the waves.
Well, please compare your answers with mine. Bill football, Amanda describes cricket, and Steve describes windsurfing. Well, my friends, answer these questions. Do you do any sport in your free time? How often? Well, my dears, if you want to say how often do you do sport, you should use all the time. I usually, twice a week, quite often, maybe once every 2 weeks, not very often, maybe 3 times a year. No, hardly ever. I can't remember the last time I went. Итак, если мы хотим сказать, сколько раз в месяц, в неделю мы занимаемся каким-то видом спорта, мы пользуемся следующими выражениями. All the time, все время. I usually, обычно. Twice a week, дважды в неделю. Quite often, довольно часто. Maybe once every 2 weeks, возможно, раз в 2 недели. Not very often, не очень часто. Maybe 3 times a year, возможно, 3 раза в год. No, hardly ever, очень редко. I can't remember the last time I went. Не могу вспомнить последний раз, когда я это делал. So, how long? Если мы хотим говорить о том, сколько вообще мы занимаемся этим, когда начали и до сих пор этим занимаемся, мы используем следующие фразы. Quite a long time. Довольно долгое время. About 9 or 10 years. Около 9-10 лет. Not very long. Недолго. Only about a month. Где-то около месяца. Quite a long time. Довольно долгое время. About 6 or 7 months. Где-то с полгода, 7 месяцев. So, for example, I go cycling all the time, usually 3 or 4 times a week. I've been cycling for quite a long time, about 3 years. Please use this information, this example, and say how often and how long do you do your sport? Thank you very much. And now let's remember again types of sport which we've learned today. Football, cricket, and hockey are all team sports. Fencing, dancing, and gymnastics could improve the children's coordination. The national anthems of the teams are played at the beginning of a big international football match. The sports center has a basketball court and 2 squash courts. People keep trying to persuade him to take up basketball because he's so tall and athletic. This involved a water sport such as swimming and water polo. Almost always participate barefoot due to the difficulty of swimming with footwear. Well, my dears, we've learned new types of sport. Now we know when should we use do, play, and go with types of sport. And please write down your home task. Be ready to answer these 3 questions next lesson. What's your favorite sport? How much do you spend on it? And what sport would you like to try one day? Well, my dears, thank you for our lesson. Don't forget to do the tasks and see you next time. Goodbye.